Good morning, viewers. Welcome. This is KUTV Live. This is a program called Elimu Live, whereby different lessons are handled so that we can cater for your educational needs. So today we have mathematics. So our lesson today, we learn mathematics. So it's 30th. So welcome to the class. We are going to talk about money. Our topic today is on money. And we are going to handle several subtopics, which will include the following. So our subtopics for the day. So we have profit, we have loss, we have percentage profit, we have percentage loss, and finally we have percentage discount and what discount is. So we start with the first subtopic, profit. So we look at what profit is. So if we have to define what profit is, profit can be the gain that is made by a person who sells an item, whereby the person sells an item at a higher price more than he or she bought it. So profit, the gain made by selling an item at a higher price, than he or she bought it. So that is what profit is. So let's read it together. Profit, the gain made by selling an item at a higher price than he or she bought it. Now the person buying here is the trader or the seller. So when we buy an item at a cheaper price and we sell at a higher price, the extra amount of money that you're going to get, that is what we refer to as profit. So in Kiswahili, profit is faida. So to make you understand better. Now, profit is calculated. So we have the formula for profit. So profit, to work out profit, we take selling price, take away buying price. So this is a formula that you can use to calculate profit. So profit is taken or is gotten by having the selling price of the item and then you subtract the buying price. Now we can have initials for this. P to mean profit is equals to SP to mean selling price minus BP to mean buying price. So that is the formula that we have. So I have an example. I wish it can be displayed for you. We have an example to that question. A trader bought a pair of shoes at 4,000 shillings. Good. I believe you can see. So I want you to read together with me. A trader bought a pair of shoes at 4,000 shillings and later sold it at 6,000 shillings. Find the profit made by the trader. I repeat the question. A trader bought a pair of shoes at 4,000 shillings. A trader bought a pair of shoes at 4,000 shillings and later sold it at 6,000 shillings. Find the profit made by the trader. So when we want to work out such a question, we first of all identify the main things in our question. So to work out profit, you look for the buying price in the question, you look for the selling price in the question, then you can be able to use our formula, which is profit is equals to selling price minus buying price, and then you're able to calculate. So let's look at the solution to this question. solution. So I want you to help me identify the buying price and the selling price. We are told a trader bought a pair of shoes at 4,000 shillings. So that amount of money which he or she bought, that is the buying price. So the buying price to our question, buying price is 4,000 shillings. Then the question continues and says, and later sold it at 6,000 shillings. So we come to selling price, that is 6,000 shillings. So the question reads, find the profit made. So we come to a question, we have the buying price, which is 4,000 shillings. We have the selling price, which is 6,000 shillings. And then we need to calculate the profit. So profit, in our example here, profit is selling price minus buying price. So you write profit is equals to selling price minus buying price. Our selling price is 6,000 shillings minus buying price, which is 4,000 shillings. So can you do this back at home? 6,000 shillings minus 4,000 shillings and shout your answer. I know I cannot be able to hear. So I believe you all shouted 2,000 shillings. So in this question, our profit, therefore, is 2,000 shillings. Having bought a pair of shoes at 4,000 and selling the same pair of shoes at 6,000, the profit, we take the selling price, which is 6,000, minus the buying price, which is 4,000, to get 2,000 as our answer. So I have a question that I would like us to do. This is mathematics, so I have to engage you. So I have a question for you. That was an example for me. So I have a question for you. It's being displayed to your screens. So a question for you. A television was bought. There's the question. You can be able to see. A television was bought at 30,000 shillings and later sold at 35,000 shillings. What profit was made from the sale of that television? I repeat the question. A television was bought at 30,000 shillings and later sold at 35,000 shillings. What profit was made from the sale of that television? So you have 1 minute to calculate it before the question gets off your screen. So you have 1 minute to work it out so that you can test your understanding. So you have a minute or so to work out that. A television was bought at 30,000 shillings and later sold at 35,000 shillings. What profit was made from the sale of that television? What profit was made from the sale of that television? Okay, let's work it out on the board. I believe that you have already worked it out at home. So we are confirming if you got the right answer. So solution, the first stage I have told you is you find the buying price and the selling price of the question. So we were told that a television was bought at 30,000 shillings. So our buying price, therefore, is 30,000 shillings. So the question went on and read and later sold at 35,000 shillings. So our selling price, therefore, is 35,000 shillings. Our selling price is 35,000 shillings. So we are being asked what profit was made from the sale of that television. So we come to our formula. Tell me the formula from home. So I believe you're saying profit is equals to selling price minus buying price, correct? So our selling price is 35,000. So you come here, you write your 35,000. Then we take away 30,000. So take away 30,000. Your answer, when you take away 35,000, take away 30,000, your answer is 5,000. So the profit made from the sale of this television was 5,000. And that is how we calculate the profit of an item. That is how we find the profit of an item. So we can look at our second subtopic. So we are done with the profit, which is the gain. So we come to loss. Loss is the opposite of profit. If profit is a gain, what do you think loss is? So loss will be the deficit that will be caused. So let's look at loss. We'll look at what loss is. So for you to have a profit, your selling price must be higher than your buying price. When your selling price is higher than your buying price, you're going to get a profit. So let's now look at what loss is. So we can define loss as a deficit that is caused when a trader sells an item at a lower price than he or she bought it. So it's a deficit cost. It's a deficit cost when a trader sells an item. When a trader sells an item at a price lower than, the buying price. So this is what loss is. We can all read it aloud. So loss, a deficit cost when a trader sells an item at a price lower than the buying price. So loss is the opposite of profit. So if profit is gotten by taking the selling price minus the buying price, it means the selling price has to be more than the buying price to get a profit. So loss being the opposite, therefore it means the buying price of the item that you want to sell is going to be higher than the amount of money that you're going to sell. Sometimes you buy something and you sell at a lesser price. When that happens, then you're going to get what we call a loss. So let's see how loss is calculated. So to find loss, the formula for finding loss is equals to buying price minus selling price. So it's the opposite of profit. So formula for loss is buying price minus selling price. If we use initials, loss will be L, buying price will be BP, selling price will be SP. So loss is equals to buying price minus selling price. That is how we calculate the loss of an item. So we can have an example to check on that, how to work it out. You can have an example. A trader bought a book at 1,500 shillings and later sold it at 1,200 shillings. Find the loss made. A trader bought a book at 1,500 shillings and later sold it at 1,200 shillings. Find the loss made. So we come and have calculations for the same. So the solution to that question, just as when we are calculating profit, we first of all need to identify our buying price. We need to identify our selling price for us to get our loss. So the question said a trader bought a book at 1,500 shillings. So the buying price therefore is 1,500 shillings. Then and later sold it. So it means the selling price now is 1,200 shillings. So this is a book bought at 1,500 and later sold at 1,200. So we need the loss. Formula for loss, we have found it here. Loss is equals to buying price minus selling price. So our buying price, it's very important to always write formulas in mathematics. Never calculate a question that has a formula without writing the formula. So loss is equals to buying price minus selling price. Our buying price is 1,500 shillings. Our selling price is 1,200 shillings. So when we take away 1,500, we take away 1,200 from 1,500, we are going to have 300 as our answer. So our answer to this question is 300. So the loss that was made by this trader after buying a book at 1,500 shillings and selling the same book at 1,200 shillings, this person made a loss of 300 shillings. So that is how loss is calculated. So to check your understanding, I have a question for you. To check your understanding, I have a question for you. Tom bought a bed at 16,500 shillings. He used the bed for 1 month and later sold the same bed at 16,000 shillings. Calculate the loss he made. So I'm giving you 1 minute to calculate that question. I'm giving you a minute to calculate that question. So I'll read it for you as you calculate. I believe you've already started. Tom bought a bed at 16,500 shillings. He used the bed for 1 month and later sold the same bed at 16,000 shillings. Calculate the loss he made. Calculate the loss he made. Tom bought a bed at 16,500 shillings and later sold the bed after using it for 1 month at 16,000 shillings. Calculate the loss he made. Okay, I believe you're through your calculations. So let's find it out if you got the right answer. So we are told we need to get the buying price and we need to get the selling price. So he bought the bed at 16,500 shillings. That is the buying price. He used it for 1 month. After using for 1 month, you cannot sell at the same price again. So the selling price was lower, and this time it was 16,000 shillings. So we need to get the loss. So loss, formula for loss, everybody say it. Buying price minus selling price. Correct. I believe that is what you said. So buying price here is 16,500 shillings and the selling price is 16,000. When you subtract 16,500 minus 16,000, your answer is 500. So therefore, our loss is 500 shillings. Our loss is 500 shillings. So I believe you calculated and got that as the right answer. So that is our second subtopic that we are looking at in this topic called money. So we are done with profit, we are done with loss. So we look at percentage profit. We look at percentage profit. So we want to look at percentage profit. After looking at profit, now let's look at what percentage profit is. So percentage profit is simply an expression of the profit in a percentage form. So percentage profit. Percentage profit. Percentage profit is simply the expression of the percentage in a percentage profit is the expression of the profit in a percentage form. So when we express the profit that we gained in form of percent, then we call that percentage profit. And percentage profit has a formula. So to calculate the percentage profit, first of all, you have to identify the profit. After identifying the profit, use the profit to calculate percentage profit. So percentage profit, is calculated by taking the profit. We already know how to calculate the profit over the buying price times 100%. That is how we get the profit. So you take percentage profit is equals to profit over the buying price times 100%. Now we can have it in form of initials. So percentage profit will be profit over buying price times 100%. So let's say the formula, all of us, percentage profit is equals to profit over buying price times 100%. So we can have an example to work out the question. So we can have an example. I will read the question as you can also see it on your screens. So the question is, Kiki bought 2 goats at 5,000 shillings each. Later on, he sold the goats for 15,000. Calculate the percentage profit he made. I repeat the question. Kiki bought 2 goats at 5,000 shillings. Later on, he sold the goats for 15,000 shillings. Calculate the percentage profit made. Correct. Now, as usual, for us to calculate such a question, we first of all need to identify the most important thing to the questions. And one of the most important thing is finding the buying price. The other important thing is finding the selling price, and then we work out the profit. So Kiki bought 2 goats at 5,000. So we have the buying price is 2 goats at 5,000 shillings. Then the selling price, he sold the goats for 15,000 shillings. So he sold the goats for 15,000 shillings. Now you realize in this example that I have here, we are introducing the use of at. So we have 2 goats at 5,000 shillings. So it means if we have 2 goats going for 5,000 shillings, one of the goats is 5,000 and the other goat is also 5,000. So there are 2 goats. One is 5,000, the other one is 5,000. So when we have the word each or at, and you have a price of an item, you multiply the item and the amount of money, because this one represents 1. And since there are 2, you take 5,000 times 2, so to get 10,000. So in this case, our buying price is 10,000. When you're told someone bought a loaf, 5 loaves of bread at 50, take the 5 times 50 to get the amount of money that he or she used. So we have the words like at, per, each. So it means you multiply the number of items times the amount of money that is there. So our buying price, therefore, is 10,000 shillings. Our selling price is 15,000 shillings. So we find profit. Remind me the formula for finding profit, everybody. Selling price minus buying price. So our selling price is 15,000 shillings minus our buying price is 10,000 shillings. When you subtract 15,000 shillings minus 10,000 shillings, we get 5,000 shillings. Now, this is not our answer because that is not what we are looking for. We are looking for percentage profit. This is just by the profit. So you write the formula for percentage profit, which is equals to profit over the buying price times 100%. So you come and replace, our profit is 5,000 shillings. Our buying price is 10,000 shillings multiplied by 100%. It's always easy to solve when you are calculating multiples of 10, where we'll cancel zeros. 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0, 0 cancels 0. So you have 5, this 5 here, multiplied by 10. We have the 10 there. So 5 times 10, we get 50. And our answer, therefore, is 50%. Remember, because we are representing in form of percentage, the answer we give must be in form of percentage. So let me take you through the calculation. So we have buying price 2 goats at 5,000. So we get 10,000 for the 2 goats. That is one goat 5,000, the other goat 5,000. So their total is 10,000. The selling price was 15,000. So we first of all find profit, which is selling price minus buying price. That is 15,000 minus 10,000. you get 5,000. So we calculate the percentage profit using the formula. Percentage profit is equals to profit over buying price times 100%. So you take the profit, which was 5,000, over the buying price, which was 10,000, multiplied by 100%. You simplify and you get your answer as 50%. If you write 50, that is wrong. It's supposed to be 50%. So I have a question for you. Also, you can work it out at home. Haniel sold his cow for 22,500, making a profit of 2,500. Calculate the percentage profit. You have 1 minute to do that. So I repeat the question as you work it out. I read the question out as you work it. Haniel sold his cow for 22,500, making a profit of 2,500. Calculate the percentage profit. I read for the last time. Haniel sold his cow for 22,500 shillings, making a profit of 2,500. Calculate the percentage profit. So we can work it out on the board. That question, we identify the most important thing in the question. So we have Haniel sold his cow. So that is selling price. So we have selling price of 22,500. Then we are told making a profit of 2,500. So we are being asked to calculate the percentage profit. It's very simple. We know that percentage profit is equals to profit over buying price times 100%. Now we realize in our question we don't have the buying price. So we identify the buying price. If we get profit is equals to selling price minus buying price. Now we now have the profit, we have the selling price, we need to calculate the buying price. So the buying price, to calculate the buying price given profit and selling price, so buying price in this case is going to be selling price minus profit. So to work out our buying price is selling price minus profit. So the selling price to this question is 22,500. Selling price is 22,500. So the selling price is 22,500. We are subtracting the profit, which is 2,500. So we can work it out on the board for everybody to see. This is 0,002. So it means that our selling price is therefore 20,000. So we have identified the buying price. This buying price, not selling price. So it means that our buying price is 20,000 shillings. Now we have the selling price, which is 22,500. Profit, 2,500. We have used the selling price and the profit to get buying price, which is 20,000. Now we come to our formula. Percentage profit is equals to profit over buying price times 100%. So profit, it was given here as 2,500 over buying price 20,000 times 100%. So we cancel the zeros. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, this one and that one. So 2 into 25, that is 12.5. So it's 12.5%, or as a fraction is 12.5%. So that is our answer to this question. Remember, you can have your answer in form of decimals and even in form of fractions. So our answer is 12.5% or 12.5% as our percentage profit. So we're done with the third. So we are going to the fourth, percentage loss. So just like percentage profit, percentage loss is the expression of the loss in a percentage form. Percentage loss is the expression. Percentage loss is the expression of loss in percentage form. And it also has a way in which we calculate. So percentage loss, that's what you are looking at. Percentage loss. So we start with the formula, percentage loss. This stands for percentage profit. So percentage loss, let me write it in words first, then we identify with the initials. Percentage loss will be loss of a buying price times 100%. So percentage loss will be loss of a buying price times 100%. In initial forms, is percentage loss is equals to loss of a buying price times 100%. So that is the formula for calculating loss. Percentage loss is loss of a buying price times 100%. Let's look at an example to work it out. An example, a trader bought a crate of tomatoes at 4,500 shillings. He later sold the tomatoes at 3,600 shillings. What percentage loss did he make? What percentage loss did he make? I repeat the question. A trader bought a crate of tomatoes at 4,500 shillings. He later sold the tomatoes at 3,600 shillings. What percentage loss did he make? So we calculate that. So we come to the solution of this question. Solution, how to solve it now. Solution. And I said for you to have the solution, you first of all have to identify the buying price. If it's there, identify the selling price. If it's there. So the question read, a trader bought a crate of tomatoes at 4,500 shillings. So the buying price is 4,500 shillings. Then the question goes on and says, he sold the tomatoes at 3,600 shillings. So the selling price is 3,600 shillings. So we need to get the percentage loss. So for us to calculate percentage loss, we first of all need loss. Loss is buying price minus selling price. And our buying price is 4,500 minus 3,600. Therefore, our loss is 900 shillings. But that is not the answer. We are looking for percentage loss. This is just but the loss. So percentage loss, therefore, is loss of a buying price times 100%. Loss of a buying price times 100%. So our loss is 900 shillings. Our buying price is right here, 4,500 times 100%. So when you work it out, when you work out the question, 0, 0, 0, 0. So when you take 45 into 92, then you add the 0 that was there. So we had cancelled the zeros, then 45 into 90, that is 2, then you add the zeros that was there. So you find your answer as 20%. So our percentage loss is 20%. Let me repeat, when you are solving this, you cancel zeros, 2 zeros with 2 zeros. So you are left with 900 over 45. 45 goes to 45 one time. 45 goes to 90 two times. Then you add the 0 that is there to make it 20. So 45 times 20 is 900. And our answer is 20%. So I want to give you a question. So I read the question. Wafula bought a motorcycle for 75,000 shillings. He later sold it after 1 year for 45,000 shillings. Calculate his percentage loss. So you have 1 minute to calculate that question at home or wherever you're watching from. I repeat the question as you work it out. Wafula bought a motorcycle for 75,000 shillings. He later sold it after 1 year for 45,000 shillings. Calculate his percentage loss. The last time, and I believe you'll be through. Wafula bought a motorcycle for 75,000 shillings. He later sold it after 1 year for 45,000 shillings. Calculate his percentage loss. So let's work it out together. So we identify the important things in the question. So Wafula bought a motorcycle. Therefore, that is the buying price. So buying price in this question is 75,000 shillings. Bought a motorcycle. So that is the buying price at 75,000 shillings. He later sold it after 1 year. So after a duration of 1 year, he sold it at 45,000. So selling price at 45,000 shillings. So we need to find percentage loss. We first of all find loss before finding percentage loss, which is buying price minus selling price, which is our buying price is 75,000 minus selling price is 45,000. So when you subtract that, you're going to get your answer as 30,000. So this person made a very huge loss of 30,000. So after finding the loss, we can now use the loss to find the percentage loss. So percentage loss, formula for percentage loss, you can shout it. So percentage loss is loss over buying price times 100%. So our loss is 30,000 shillings. Our buying price is 75,000 shillings. And our percentage is 100%. So you solve all these, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. So you have 3,000 divided by 75. When you divide all of it, you'll get your answer. So let me also leave you work to calculate. So you divide everything and you get the correct answer as your percentage loss. So when you divide everything, you'll get your percentage answer. Your answer as the correct answer. So we can look at the next thing. So I'm waiting for you to work out that. I believe you have worked it out. So when you do that, when you solve everything, I expect you to have 40% as your answer. 40% as your answer. So we go to the last thing, which is percentage discount. Percentage discount. Now, percentage discount, you have to understand that is loss to the person who is selling. So percentage discount. Percentage discount is like close to the person who is selling an item, because he or she is going to allow some amount of money to the customer. So percentage discount is loss to the person selling, but to the person buying, it is an advantage. So we calculate percentage discount. Percentage discount. Percentage discount as discount over buying price times 100%. So we calculate percentage discount as discount over buying price times 100%. So I have a question for you. An item was bought at 2,000 shillings. An item was bought at 2,000 shillings. If the marked price was 2,500, what was the percentage discount, or what percentage discount was allowed? We identify the important things in the question. So we have marked price. Marked price is always the price tag given. So marked price is 2,500. We have an item was bought. So that is the buying price. The selling price to the seller, but the buying price to whoever is buying. So the buying price here is 2,000. Therefore, our discount is marked price minus buying price, which is 2,500 minus 2,000. 2,500 minus 2,000, your answer is 500. So that is not your answer. That is just but the discount. So to work out percentage discount, now, percentage discount is discount of a marked price times 100% of a marked price. Take note of that. So our discount here is 500. Our marked price here is 2,500. So we multiply by 100%. So 2 zeros, let me use a different color. So we have 2 zeros, cancelling 2 zeros. Then we have 500 divided by 25. Now, 5 can go to 25 5 times. 5 can go to 50. 5 into 500, that is 100 times. 5 into 10, 2. So that is 20%. That is 20%. So I will give you a question of which I will not calculate, but I'll give you as your takeaway question. So to test on your understanding of the lesson today. So the question is on percentage discount. The question reads, Sheila paid 3,600 shillings for a pair of shirts after being allowed a discount of 400 shillings. Calculate the percentage discount. I repeat, Sheila paid 3,600 for a pair of shirts after being allowed a discount of 400 shillings. Calculate the percentage discount. So that is your question. You can work it out at home and then have your answer. So I'm checking if I have any questions from you, and I can see there are no questions. So I believe that you have all understood. So my name is Teacher Stapleton, and I've been your teacher of mathematics for the day. If you want to view these lessons, you can go to the YouTube, and then you check Stapleton Bethleas, and you can view all the lessons that have been handled by this teacher. So that is the handle. You can look for that to view all the lessons that were handled. Stapleton Bethleas. This is S. So I've been your teacher for the lesson, and I wish you a good day.